Today, you're going to get acquainted with a more subdued version of Audi's electric models, the E-Tron GT. Although it doesn't sport the RS in its name, we're going to reveal its key details. Let's dive into the specifics. The E-Tron GT is equipped with two motors positioned on each axle. These motors generate 476 horsepower, reaching 530 horsepower when utilizing overboost. Interestingly, these numbers align with the Porsche Taycan 4S. The reason? They both share the same platform. The Taycan 4S, however, boasts a slightly quicker acceleration, hitting 100 km per hour, about 62 miles per hour, in 3.9 seconds, while the E-Tron GT takes 4.1 seconds. There's a hierarchy among the brands. For instance, the RS E-Tron GT, despite its robustness, doesn't surpass the Porsche Taycan. It positions itself between the Taycan GTS and the Taycan Turbo. The dimensions of the E-Tron GT also catch the eye. Measuring 4.99 meters in length, 1.96 meters in width, excluding mirrors, and 1.41 meters in height, Audi could easily label it a sportback. Its design resembles that of the Audi A7. Nevertheless, its features categorize it as a GT. Examining the rear, the absence of exhaust outlets stands out. However, this is a feature also seen in some combustion engine vehicles. The tail light seamlessly integrates into the design, resembling other E-Tron models. The tail light design isn't arbitrary. Its lines appear to follow the direction of the wind, reflecting the vehicle's streamlined aerodynamics. With a coefficient of just 0.24, it's Audi's most aerodynamic model. An interesting detail is the active rear spoiler, which engages automatically at high speeds. And lastly, an intriguing tidbit, a Brazilian designer at Audi shared that the lines on the taillights serve an additional purpose. They minimize the perception of space between the trunk and the taillight. Thus, from a distance, what you see is a cohesive unit, not the division between the parts. In summary, the E-Tron GT is another one of Audi's forays into the electric vehicle market. Sharing platforms yet maintaining its identity, it promises to be an attractive alternative in the segment. In the growing wave of electric vehicles, Audi's E-Tron GT has been making waves. But even with its sophistication, it can't be categorized as a sportback. Why? One of the reasons is that the rear glass doesn't lift with the trunk, unlike models such as the RS5, RS7, and some SUVs from the brand. The GT name for the car is justifiable. It doesn't adhere to the classic 2+2 seating arrangement and, despite its elegance, isn't as spacious as a sedan. A standard feature for the car in Brazil will be the panoramic glass roof. There's an option for a carbon fiber roof, which lightens the weight and reinforces the structure, but the glass adds a special charm. The E-Tron GT has its distinct details. Unlike certain BMW models, for example, it lacks features that darken the roof. In the rear seat, there's a raised central area, with independent temperature controls for the air conditioning. Although accommodating a fifth person isn't possible, there's an armrest with cup holders and a USB compartment beneath the seats. Despite its elevated price, surprisingly, its interior appears simple. It features a digital dashboard, which has evolved since the introduction of Audi's virtual cockpit. The infotainment display is of good size, however, it lacks the screen for controlling the air conditioning found in other models. Comparatively, the Porsche Taycan initially embraced touch technology, eliminating many physical buttons, a decision that was later reconsidered. On the other hand, the E-Tron SUV features the innovative digital side mirror. The E-Tron GT, leveraging the Taycan's platform, doesn't include this feature. For some, these advanced technologies might seem excessive. The car's ergonomics are remarkable: a simplified gear selector, intuitive controls, and touch functionality. Additionally, there are 2 cup holders, storage space for objects, and an easily accessible ignition button. Its steering wheel is wrapped in a fabric reminiscent of Alcantara. And finally, an observation: the rubberized dashboard becomes slightly stiffer in colder temperatures. While not reaching the level of hard plastic found in a Volkswagen, it's perceptible to the touch. In summary, the E-Tron GT is a standout car from Audi, balancing sophistication and functionality. Amid the electric race, it certainly positions itself as an intriguing option. The Audi e-tron GT model boasts 476 horsepower, capable of reaching a peak of 530 horsepower in dynamic mode. Compared to the RS e-tron GT, its range excels. In the WLTP cycle, it can reach up to 501 kilometers, while the RS achieves 480 kilometers. Even with a smaller 83 kilowatt-hour battery, compared to the RS's 94 kilowatt-hours, the e-tron surpasses by 21 kilometers, weighing 2,320 kilograms. It's lighter than the RS e-tron, which weighs 2,400 kilograms. In everyday driving, this difference translates into benefits: greater range with a smaller battery, and despite having less power, its acceleration capacity is impressive, from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, about 0 to 62 miles per hour, in 4.1 seconds. The e-tron GT also comes equipped with adaptive air suspension. A notable aspect is the ability to achieve high speeds with an electric motor. While most electric cars face rotational limitations, the E-Tron and Taycan, thanks to their asynchronous motors, managed to achieve higher rotations and power delivery with lower energy consumption. In terms of technology, these are among the best electric motors available today. Speaking of batteries, the E-Tron supports a power of 270 kilowatts. Although there are chargers that reach 350 kilowatts, their availability is still limited. Interestingly, Audi inaugurated supercharging stations in Germany with power up to 300 kilowatts, offering exclusive VIP lounges for its customers. Vehicles from other brands can be charged at these stations, but without access to the premium areas.